Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing so well. So for today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to achieve a flawless real life photoshopped base. So I get a lot of questions on the daily on how I get a really flawless base, how I make it look really flawless in real life and not just pictures. So I thought I'd show you guys how to do that today. Now with this video, I'm going to do 3 variations of it. So obviously separate videos, otherwise one video would just take way too long. So the first video is going to be with like more high-end luxe products. The second video will be with lower-end drugstore products that you could use for every day. And then the third video, I will show you guys how I do it in like an everyday style. So minimal product, I'll make it look really, really natural. So yeah, today's version is going to be the more higher-end luxe products, so products that you can find at Sephora, Mecca, David Jones, all of that. So yeah, if you guys are interested in watching how I achieve a flawless base, then please stick around and enjoy this video. Okay, so as always, number 1 step is skin prep. This is by far the most important step of the whole makeup look, because if your base isn't prepped accordingly to your skin type, then your makeup isn't going to sit properly. So I have really dry skin, primarily around, you know what, I'm just dry everywhere, especially my forehead. My center isn't as dry as it used to be, but around my face and my forehead especially is the most dry. So I always like to moisturize. I pack on the moisturizer. I just douse my skin in moisture. So for moisturizer, I'm going to be taking the Dr. Jart Ceramidin Cream. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but it is just a super hydrating moisturizer. I'm just going to take a decent amount of that on my fingers. This is really, really hydrating, so I don't need too much of it. I am just going to pack this all over my face. I'm gonna add a little extra moisture because my skin literally just drinks it all up. I'm gonna take the Josie Maran Argan Oil. This one's an oldie but a goodie. I've used this one for years. And I'm gonna add a few drops of that to my hands. Just like that. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm gonna rub it in between my fingers and then pat this onto my skin. And the reason I'm pushing this into my skin and not rubbing it in is because I just really want to push it into all of my pores. And actually I don't even know what the proper name is. It's not my pores because I don't have as many pores anymore. What's the word? Don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but I just want to push it into my skin and I want it to kind of sit there because my skin is eventually going to just drink it all up. Last step for skin prep is eye cream. It's super, super, super important to apply an eye cream because you want to make sure that your concealer isn't going to go dry and cakey. Eye cream helps concealer blend in, it helps with longevity, and it also helps with not creasing your makeup. So when you apply an eye cream, your concealer is less likely to crease and it will last a lot longer. The eye cream I'm using today is the Origins Ginseng Refreshing Eye Cream. I would usually go for my Ole Henriksen Banana Bright Eye Cream, but I've actually left that upstairs, so this is what I've got on hand at the moment, and it's still a really good one too. So I'm applying that generously with my ring finger. Usually when I prep my skin, I wouldn't have any eye makeup on, so I'd also apply this to my lid, but I did that before I applied my eyeshadow and eyeliner. You just want to pat that in with your ring finger. The reason you use your ring finger when patting in your eye cream is because your ring finger is your most delicate finger and you don't want to be pulling around your eye area. That will cause wrinkles and we do not want that. So my skin is looking super glowy at the moment. I'm just gonna let that sink into my skin for a couple minutes and then I'm going to start on foundation. Okay, so I've let that sink into my skin for a few minutes and I'm gonna jump into foundation, and the foundation that I'm taking is the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation. I'm the shade Chai 210B. So I'm going to take that. Now this is a super full coverage foundation. You can use something a little bit lighter if you would like. I just really, really like this foundation and I wanted to use it today. I first like to start applying my foundation with a brush and then I will blend it in with a damp beauty blender. This brush is by Morphe Brushes. I don't know the number, but it's just like a big dome kabuki. And I'm just gonna start patting that in. So because this is a super full coverage foundation, a little bit does go a long way. I'm now pushing that all in with a damp beauty blender. Next is bronzer, and I like to start with a cream bronzer first to contour my face, and then I'll go in with a powder. So for cream contour, I'm going to take the Huda Beauty Tantour in the shade Fair. I've only recently started using this and I absolutely love it. This is the perfect color. And I'm actually going to take this as well with the Huda Beauty Face Sculpt and Shade Brush. This is such a good brush. I'm going to start by using the smaller end for the cream, and then I'll use the big end for powder. So I'm going to take a bit of this on to my brush, and I'm going to start with the hollows of my cheekbones and then work my way to the outer perimeters of my face. So my forehead isn't actually that big, so I don't need to contour my face, but I do like to add bronzer because I really like that bronziness around my forehead. Get your jawline as well. And I actually just want to get the sides of my nose too. I'm going to take this small dome brush by Elysian. I don't really have another brush like it, but I really like it. I've had this for years, and I'm going to use that to buff out all of that bronzer. You can also do this with a damp beauty blender if you'd like. I've just really been liking using a brush for this lately. So to blend out the contour on my nose, I'm taking the Huda Beauty brush that I was just using, and I'm wiping off whatever excess I have because I want to use it to blend out that contour. So I'm just going to start by buffing that in. I really like this brush for nose contour. I feel like contouring my nose is one of those things that took me forever to master. But I will say, having a really good brush helps a lot. I also like to go over with a damp beauty blender as well to help that blend. So now we need to correct and conceal our under eyes. So I'm going to correct first, and you want to correct your under eyes before you apply any concealer, because sometimes if you've got really dark bags, or you've got a lot of undertones in your bags, they can show through with your concealer and make it look really ashy. So I'm going to start by taking a peach corrector. This one's by Urban Decay. This is their color correcting fluid. This is the perfect peachy color to counteract those bags of mine. I'm going to blend that in with a damp beauty blender. So as you can see, that's instantly corrected and brightened my under eye. It's going to make covering my bags super duper easy. For concealer, I'm taking the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Away Concealer. I've absolutely been loving this concealer. It is so good, doesn't crease, lasts forever. And I'm going to apply this quite generously to my under eyes. And I'm going to apply it in a more triangular shape, kind of coming down sort of to the side of my nose, because you want to highlight the center of your face. That's what's going to shine through. So I'm really just focusing this not just underneath my eyes, but to the center of my face. I'm also applying this to my chin and also the center of my forehead. And just a very small amount to my nose. And I'm just blending that out with a damp beauty blender. Okay, next is baking, and I know you guys always see this coming, but of course I'm taking my Laura Mercier loose translucent powder. I haven't used a translucent powder that compares. Yeah, I've used some good ones, but this is still by far my favorite after many years. So you guys know the drill. I take this onto my damp beauty blender. I'm going to smooth out any creases underneath my eyes, and then I'm going to dip that into the powder and apply it to my under eyes to bake. And if you guys haven't seen my video on baking, definitely watch it because I go a little bit more in depth on why I bake and what baking does for your makeup. But if you don't want your under eyes to crease, definitely bake your under eyes. I'm also going to add a very small amount to the bridge of my nose, and I do this because makeup I find doesn't last as long on my nose, so I like to take little extra precautions, but I don't apply this to my forehead usually because, as I've mentioned, my forehead is pretty dry, and I feel like when I bake it just dries it out a little bit more. So I'm going to take leftovers and I'm going to use that to cut my contour. I'm also going to bake my smile lines because no matter what, I'm always getting smile lines. So I'm going to let that sit for a few minutes and let that emulsify into my skin, and I will be back in like 5 minutes. So generally in the time that my face is baking, I like to do my lashes and my lips. I already had my lashes on, so I just did my lips this time, and I've just used the MAC Spice lip liner. You can tell this is very well loved, it's so tiny. And then I just applied a gloss on top, and this is the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Bluster in the shade Bardo Beige. This one is an all-time favorite. It is also very well loved. So now I'm going to dust off all the baking. And I'm going to be taking the Benefit Hello Happy Velvet Powder Foundation. This is the shade 2. This has actually become a new favorite. I've only recently started using this too, and I really, really like it. So I'm going to take this on an IT Cosmetics Dome Brush, and I'm just going to use that to dust off the powder underneath my eyes. So I'm really only focusing this powder under my eyes, and then I'll just use excess to dust off the rest of my face. So next is bronzer, and to bronze up my face, I'm taking the Benefit Hoola Light Bronzer. Oh, it's a bit bright, so you can't really see. But to apply this, I'm also taking the Huda Beauty Face Sculpt and Shade Brush that I was using before, but I'm taking the bigger end. So I'm going to pack this on, and this is pretty light, so you can go be a bit heavy-handed with it. But I like that it's not too dark. But with your bronzer, blush, and your highlight, you actually want to pack it on because I'm going to show you a technique to buff it all out and to make it all look really seamless. So it really doesn't matter how dark you go with your bronzer. It kind of is like the darker the better with this technique. So I'm really going to be packing this on. Next, for blush, I'm taking this Jouer palette, and I'm going to take the shade Adore Me, which is the darker one in this palette. Such beautiful, beautiful blushes. So just like the bronzer, I'm going to apply this to my face quite generously, focusing this on the apples of my cheeks and working upwards. I love blush, some people don't, so if you're not a blush fan, then feel free to skip this step. The technique will still work without it. So as you can see, I've been pretty generous with the blush, but don't fear, we will be fixing that. So lastly is a highlight, and you want to pack this on like you've never packed on your highlighter before. If you want a more glowy look. If you're more of a matte person, then just apply it as you normally would. But I'm taking the Charlotte Tilbury Bar of Gold palette, and I'm going to be mixing all 3 of these highlighters. Taking an Inglot 4SS brush, and I am applying that highlighter to the apples of my cheeks. I mean, not the apples of my cheeks, the tops of my cheekbones, my forehead, and my brows and the tip of my nose. She's looking a little bit extra, but don't fear, we're gonna fix it. So I'm gonna teach you guys the buffing technique. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this on my channel a while ago, but I'm gonna show it to you guys again for those of you who haven't seen it or that may be new to my channel. So basically the buffing technique is when you take a fluffy kabuki brush, like a dome brush, like this, and you grab a pressed powder and you buff it all over your skin. So you buff it all over your highlighter, bronzer, everything you've just done, except your eyes obviously. And it really blends all of that in. It just makes everything look really seamless. It makes it look like real life Photoshop, literally. So the powders I'm going to be taking these 2 Kat Von D powder foundations. They're 2 different shades. One is medium 150, one is medium 155. I am in between them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip my brush into both of them. off and buff that all over my skin. So have a look before how it's looking, really highlighted, really choppy, I would say, and just watch how it makes everything look really seamless. So that's one side of my face done, and then there's the other. So this is why we pack on all of that product quite heavily, because the powder does tone it all down quite a bit. But yeah, this isn't everyone's cup of tea. I really prefer this a lot more than having my highlighter look really poppin' and choppy. This used to be my cup of tea, but not really anymore. I absolutely love wearing my makeup like this. But don't worry, if you feel like the glow has completely disappeared, it hasn't. I don't feel like it picks up on camera as much, but there is also one more step to bring that glow back. So yeah, just stay tuned. So the last and final step is setting spray. And this is the secret to bringing the glow back. You want to pack on your setting spray like you've never packed it on before. I have actually, since doing this, have fallen back in love with the MAC Prep and Prime Fix Plus. This is my favorite to do this with. This works for me because I have super dry skin. If you have oily skin, I would probably recommend the Urban Decay De-Slick one. It still does the exact same thing, only it won't make you as oily. So yeah, I'm gonna spray this and I'm literally going to pack it on. So as you can see, my face is pretty wet from all of that. I've literally doused my skin in Fix Plus, and this is going to bring back a lot of the moisture that the powder may have taken away. I actually have a little fan here. Where is it? I'm going to turn on my little fan to help dry that. And that, my friends, is literally all there is to it. Can you see how that setting spray has given my skin so much moisture? I'm literally glowing. I look real life photoshopped. My skin is flawless. So yeah, this is my absolute favorite way to do my foundation. So yeah, I hope you guys like it and try it out for yourselves. So this is it for the video, my loves. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you guys walk away having learned something new from this video, and I really hope you guys try out some of these techniques, because it literally will change your makeup game forever. If you did enjoy this video, please give me a massive thumbs up. That would really help me a lot. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.